Um, in my experience, sometimes business owners get into a franchise or they purchase a franchise or open a franchise, not understanding the obligations that they have as a franchisee. And they go into with a great deal of optimism and they underestimate the type of work that it will require to make this franchise successful or the capital requirements that it will require to make the franchise successful. And I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to go into a franchise. And I think if you have any takeaway here is that if you're going to go into a franchise, make sure you understand what you're getting into. You have to go in with a cautious mind in understanding that whoever is offering you, telling you about this franchise, their job is to sell a franchise. And I think that's a very, if I would give you an advice here, is that if you go looking into a franchise, retain a counsel to help you review the franchise disclosure document, help you with some due diligence about the franchise, and advise you as to your obligations that you have with that franchise, with that franchisor. And I asked the question, why you did not retain counsel beforehand? And the answer was to save money. Nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, some of these franchises, you might end up investing $500,000. In some cases, I've seen people invest their life savings into this business. So to save a few $100s, to give you the advice on whether or not this might be an opportunity for you, when you're putting on the line $500,000, it does not make any sense. These documents were prepared by attorneys for the most part or consultants that are highly skilled in the business of franchising. So you have to level the playing field as to the advice that you receive when you're going into a venture that you do not know anything about. Now, if you begin to see 10 of these lawsuits, okay, and especially some of them are recent, that is a red flag for you to look at and say, okay, I need to find out more about these. And they have to explain to you who the parties are in the litigation, who's the plaintiff in this case. So that's one of the issues that I have to pay an initial fee before a location is selected, because you really, without the location, you don't have a franchise. So that's something that should be negotiated, that if the location is not acceptable to you or the franchisor, or you don't qualify for the lease for whatever reason, let's assume you do, then that initial franchise fee is refundable. So you take a step. That's why the attorney is important for you to have to protect that initial investment. So another thing that I see here happening in terms of why some business owners fail at franchising is the lack of cash flow management. And we talked about that in the last segment. They pay expenses and payroll out of that account, and they don't have enough funds. And then when the franchisor automatically tries to draw the franchise fee, the royalties, it bounces. And so cash flow planning is very important, and having the right amount of working capital to allow for that gap on cash flow is essential.